Hello and welcome. I'm Lynn of Lynn X Stitches Creates, and welcome to my Flosstube channel about count and cross stitch and the project bags I make. It is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. This is episode 173. Welcome if you're new. I've had a few new subscribers over the last couple of weeks. I hope you like what you see, enjoy, come back, join us, do all the things. And if you're a returning subscriber, as always, thank you so much. I enjoy all the comments. Thank you for all the well wishes on my last video. As you can hear, I feel much better now. My cold, it has gone away. Have a little bit of a cough once or twice a day still, but nothing. It's more like a tickle in my throat. That could just be allergies. Things in bloom right now. My husband is doing very well. So far so good. So we just keep monitoring him and hoping for the best. We'll find out November or December when he goes back for a follow-up CAT scan, are there more blood clots? Are they all gone? What is the scoop? So, we're just in a kind of a wait and a see kind of phase, which, yay. So, as you know, if you've been watching, I have been doing the Tour de France stitching. If you're not familiar, Full Coverage Fanatics, it's a Facebook group. They do every July when the Tour de France is the bicycle race is going on. They stitch the number of kilometers that the cyclists race every day. And you can do that three ways. You can either do it, you stitch every day, or you stitch every other day. And one way is, I forget what they call it, and the other is a climbing day. So, whichever way you decide to do it is how, So I decided, and I'm not posting in the Full Coverage Fanatics group because this is not a full coverage piece. I had pulled out my Brenda Gervais, Our Hearts. I had started this. I looked at my book and I did not start this on our anniversary. I actually started this July 4th. We have a July anniversary, but I started it July 4th of 2020, which I believe is the year it came out. And I had only done, I'll put up a picture of where I started on July 5th. So from July 5th on, I stitched every day, and if I didn't stitch, I made up for it. I will put up a picture of where it was last week. And amazing. I finished. I cannot believe my hope for this was to have had it about halfway done, because these pomegranate flowers are huge, but doing that, it was about 185 a day stitches. There were 2 off days, 2 free days, so it was 25 days of stitching on this. 26 because my 25th day brought me to here. And then once I got to there, I'm like, well, heck, I'm just going to keep going. So Sunday, I finished this. And then Monday, I finished the bottom. It is all done. The hearts are Algerian eyelets. Most of the hearts are. Let's see. Is that one? This one is 2. And then that one. there's one more. This one are all our, and then of course at the bottom to match are Algerian eyelets. So I had a specialty stitch in there. I did change because Brenda Gervais had charted this all in the rusts color, and I did not. This called for endive, and when I kitted this up in 2020, there wasn't any at Keepsakes, so I did baby spinach, which I think is probably a little bit brighter green rather than the primer endive. And then for the people, oops, for the people, I did blues for me, presidential blue, and then blue jay. I did a green for my husband's coat. It's a kind of a dark green, so you can't really see well. And then the gray for his pants. I have to look up what green I pulled out for that. It was from my, oh goodness. I'll put it there. And then I decided to change that and that to blues, just to give a little bit more blue, because if you've been here for a while, you know I like blue. So I am beyond thrilled, excited to show that this is done. I know it was over 3,000 stitches for the month. Like I said, I was thinking maybe I'd get this part done, and that way, you know, the rest, letters are pretty easy for me. They go pretty quick. But when I got all the way down to here on my last day, I was like, I have to finish. So. I love it. So that is my July finish. That brings me up to 13 finishes for the year, which is very exciting. This past weekend, I went to, on Saturday the 26th, I went to my very first Queen City Sampler Guild meeting. It was themed Christmas in July. They had people bring in, Christmas finishes that they've had. There was a little mini Christmas tree, so there was a lot of ornaments. There were some other Christmas things, and then one lady has done 6 or 7 very large. I mean, I'm talking 18 by 24 was probably the smallest one. Madonna and Child. Beautiful work. So they brought them into display. And then there were door prizes, but it really wasn't a door prize. Everybody got to pick something. It was basically, well, anyway, so she did it by birthday month. So when I was called, I got to pick Lizzie Kate. It's a Tiny Tidings. Well, there isn't a year on this one that I see. Maybe it's inside. But it's Tiny Tidings 3. So we've got a sheep, a cat, and a dog. And I thought they were so cute. So I had picked that. And then after everybody had picked, you could go back, and I was in the midst of a conversation and stitching, and I didn't think about it. And one of the ladies, I was working on an opalescent fabric, she's like, this was on the table, would you use that? I said, yes, I would. So I got that too. I'm not sure what count it is. It's definitely an even weave. It's not an Aida, so very fun. So, because it was Christmas in July, I brought my Prairie Schooler Santa, my 2009 Santa, and I'm going to put in where it was, and ta-da, this is where he is now. So I did the scissors, I filled in the spool, filled in arms over to the coat, and I've brought down, and that's the bottom of his coat, so I can put in his feet once I finish filling in, and then all I have to do is the sewing machine. So I'm going to work on him again today. We'll see. We'll see where, maybe I have another finish. There's 2 days left for July, the 30th and 31st, so who knows? Maybe I could have 2. And those are ones that have been, I think I started Santa, I'm not sure if it was 2020 or if it was 2021. I will let you know next week. When I was looking in my book, I didn't start keeping a book of starts, finishes, all that kind of stuff until 2020. When I came back to cross stitch in 2019 and found Flosstube, then I saw, you know, people talking about, you know, what they did and what they did it on and all the things. And I mean, I've been stitching since 84, 85. And I never kept a record other than to take pictures of things that I gifted to people. So, yeah, so for my book starts at 2020. Now that the Brenda Gervais is done, I have 5 pieces that I started in 2020. So I kind of like to see if maybe I can knock another one out this year. I know a couple of them are big. I started the Teresa Kogut Hope for the World, which is, might as well be full coverage in Christmas of 2020. And I started Tracking the Seasons by Primitives. I started the summer one in January of 2020. So those 2 I'd definitely like to see more of. And of course, United We Stand. That's just a bunch of fill-in. I really need to sit and do that too. So that's another possible finish. I really would like to get that one done as well. That was a Juneteenth start in 2020. So I'd really like to get that one done as well. So there's 3 I'd like to get done. 1 that I think I could definitely do this year. And I've forgotten what the other projects that I started in 2021 were. But after I finished my piece, I pulled out, because Christmas in July, I pulled out Noel Sampler. This was a sal from a few years ago by Satsuma Street, and I didn't even take a picture because the last time I saw it, you saw it, you know, I had finished a block. This time I have not finished a block, but I started the block. So last time you saw it, everything was here except for that. So I have started on this bird. So you see the wing and some of his body going. I will probably finish that today. And I really want to start getting the frame working because I really, really want to do that Christmas ornament. I was kind of hoping to finish. This is probably my least favorite square. I don't know what it is about it that I don't like, but you know, a lot of times for me, for Satsuma Street is trust the process. So I should probably do that one before I roll the scroll frame, because then I can roll the scroll frame and get my last 4 frameworks in, and then it's all downhill from there. Because once the framework is in, that's a lot of stitching, is to get that framework in. So once that's in, I am golden. I did not buy anything this week. Right? Yeah, that was all from last week. Just a reminder, talking about Christmas in July, a lot of the companies that are doing Advent boxes, the ordering closes this month. So you have today, tomorrow, if you're watching this in July still, to get your orders in. Historical Sampler Company, Caterpillar Cross Stitch, I think that Evertote has closed theirs, but I'd have to check. Forbidden Fiber Co., Fangirl Fibers, Bothy Threads. I'm pretty sure most of them are closing this month. So, and if you quilt, another good box is the Missouri Star Quilt Company. Their box has been pretty amazing, but I decided not to get it last year because I don't really quilt. I sew, but I don't quilt. So some of the things that came in the box, I'm just never going to use. I'm going to give them away. So I decided not to last year, and I really like the box, and I'm tempted to get it again this year, but I'm not gonna. I just can't. What else? There was another one I saw just recently, and it was one that I hadn't heard of, but I just decided I didn't want to spend that money. And then, of course, the tea calendars are coming out. Walker's shortbread cookies should be starting to advertise for theirs. The Bon Maman, the jam and jellies, they just started advertising their advent calendar. I got that 2 or 3 years ago, which I really enjoyed. I didn't show it on my channel when I was opening because I had other things that I was opening, so I just didn't. But yeah, and if you can make your own. I was thinking this year, I still have a lot of tea in my tea cabinet. I'm going to have my husband, I'll pick out teas, and then I'll have my husband put them in the bags for me so that there'll be a surprise on what I'm drinking each day. Godiva has an advent calendar. Lynn, of course, has an advent calendar. There's a Hallmark Snoopy one, I think, that's chocolates, or it's Williams and Sonoma, I believe, has it. It's like $80. It's like, that's a lot for chocolate. Godiva, I don't even pay that for Godiva. Godiva advent calendar, I think, is $50, so $80 is a lot for an unknown chocolate, even if it is Snoopy. But it's fun to do Flossmas, and if you're new, Flossmas in December, I will do a video every day. I will be opening advent calendars, most of them cross-stitch related, and then there will be stitching that I will do every day during the month of December, from 2 of them, from Forbidden Fiber Co. and from Evertote. Evertote's partners with Roxy Floss Co. and with Modern Folk Embroidery, and last year's pattern was gorgeous. Not that I have framed it so bad. I'm behind on my finishing. WIPGO this year, I never put together a board, but in my head, my WIPGO was to finish 2 things every month. And I did pretty well for the first 3 months, and it kind of fell off. So I've got to get back to that. I've got to clean this area that you cannot see. See, what you can see behind me is where here and over here are where I work. So I keep those areas clean. I keep the floor here clean. But under my desk here that my extra sewing machine is on. It's just too much stuff. I gotta get rid of it. I gotta organize it, but that takes away from stitching time, and I love my stitching time. So anyway, so I guess that's about it. August, Friday, right? Friday is August 1st, so that means I'll be doing with Kenny Stitches for his birthday this year. His birthday month is August, and he suggested doing Abandoned Sal. So any Sals that you've been in that you didn't finish, pull them out. Get them going. I'm going to be working on a caterpillar cross stitch Christmas one that I didn't finish. I plan to pull out my Forbidden Fiber Code Downton Abbey. I know I'm getting closer to a finish on that one too, so that would be nice to finish that. And I want to get out my Stitching Book Club. Oh my gosh. Jane Eyre. All the books going through my head, and I knew it wasn't Jane Austen book. Jane Eyre. So those three I will definitely be working on. Whether I spend a week on them, whether I rotate them through, I don't know. And I'll probably I might pull out one more. There's another Stitching Book Club that I had gotten pretty far on. Not Anne of Green Gables, because that one I did not keep up with. The Narnia one, as much as I was looking forward to that, I did not get very far on that one either. And once it's a matter of getting past some counting in a section, and then I can get back into it again. So I've got that needs to be a focus at some point. But yeah, so that's August plans. My friends and I are still doing Candyland. So we had a week break between the last game, and we're starting a new round tonight. So that's exciting. That'll keep my stitching going. So yeah, so that's it. No haul, lots of plans, lots of finishing. I have to decide where I'm going to take Our Hearts and have it finished. Finished it before my 40th. Brenda Gervais charted it for her at her husband's 40th. I figured as long as it was done before my 40th, that was good. It definitely is, so that is good. Anyway, have a good one. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay cool. They say today is the last day of the excessive heat. I mean, we've been having 88, 90, feels like 105. I know in Georgia, my son and his fiance said it was feeling like 115. They said that this is the hottest summer on record in Atlanta. So I'm glad I'm not there anymore. So have a good one. I will see you next week.